Indecision and passivity diminish attraction and create relationship instability. This is where like a lot of guys are just going with the flow, right? They just show up and like whatever their wife decides to do, like their wife makes the plans, their wife makes all the vacations things, right? Their wife wants to go out, she makes the plans. Otherwise, they're just passive and they just show up and they wait to do what they're told. That's completely unattractive behavior. And it's like, but guys are so simple. Guys are so easy that it's like it's just easy for them to fall into that role, you know. But that's not what makes women attracted to you. So the sucky part is if you want to live that way, maybe long-term relationships just aren't for you. Maybe, you know, being a black pill doomer MGTOW guy who just gives up on women is the right choice for you. Okay. If you're going to be in a loving long-term relationship with we're past the 8-minute mark with lots of sex, uh there's going to be some work. You're going to have to be the decider. You're going to have to be the one that's not being passive. You're going to have to be the one that makes decisions, that makes plans and all that kind of stuff. You're going to have to be that guy. If you don't like it, don't get married. Don't get into a long-term relationship, right? Just hit it and quit it, you know? Right? There's trade-offs, you know? Like, yeah, if you never get married and you're just spinning plates for the rest of your life, you have unlimited potential for unlimited options for the rest of your life, and maybe you're happy that way. That's fine. Some guys are, right? But a lot of you guys want to be in a committed long-term relationship. Well, it's going to take some effort on your part, right? The thing is, though, a lot of guys hear that and they are like, oh, that sounds like a lot of work and I don't want to do that. It's like because they're lazy right now, you know? But once you make it a part of who you are and you just start doing this normally and it's a part of what you do and you sort of have fun with it. Like I like making plans. I like looking to see if there's anything new in the area that I could take Nurse Chick to. I like doing that kind of stuff. It's fun, right? Nurse Chick, if she really wants to do something, she knows that to just make that decision too now too, right? Like it's never like, hey, do you want to do this stuff? It's like, hey, I was thinking, we should go do this, you know, kind of thing. That's how she brings it up to me. If I find something, I'm like, hey, we're doing this. Hey, I found this cool place. We're going here, right? But it works out. It works out better if you're more decisive and you make plans and you're less passive, right? And then leadership is about providing direction and assurance, not asking for permission and validation. And that's another thing that's a big problem with having the mental model of equal partnership, right? Looking at your wife like she's your partner. Now, some people might say, well, that's just a word. Okay, fine. I know a guy who's been on my show a few times, he says that, you know, it's just a word, man. It can be, but also what tends to happen is if you look at your wife like she's your equal partner, you start wanting her buy-in on your decisions. Well, that's validation-seeking behavior, if you think about it. If you're like, hey, I want to go to this restaurant. Are you okay with that, honey? Like you're asking for her permission. That's a validation-seeking thing. Instead of just saying, hey, we're going to this restaurant, right? Now she can object and say, I don't like that restaurant. Okay, fine. But you're not asking for permission when you're making those decisions, right? But if she says I don't like that, now you can have a discussion about it. That's fine, but you're not asking for permission or validation. It's more attractive behavior, it's more bold. Women actually respond to it much better. You'll find that you won't really get a lot of pushback most of the time when you say that. I don't think I've ever had Nurse Chick really push back on anything that I said, you know, but she's also just a really cool chick. So, you know, confidence versus ego in leadership. Confidence versus ego. So confidence, it comes from internal security, self-trust, while ego is driven by insecurity. You know, like you ever hear of ego protection? I used to talk about it on my Woo Woo Wednesday episodes, right? But to oversimplify things, your brain's basically split up into your conscious mind, your subconscious, and then you have this sort of like ego protection layer that protects your subconscious and it protects your paradigm, right? So if you have this paradigm of a certain paradigm, and then you get information that comes in that attacks that paradigm or challenges that paradigm, your ego protection layer wants to fight it, right? It wants to reject it. So a lot of times you'll find that people that get put in like a leadership role or whatever, they tend to have a little bit of an ego about it. They tend to think, hey, I'm I'm king shit, and you how dare you challenge me, you peasants, kind of thing. And so when someone does challenge their authority, instead of listening, maybe trying to understand where they're coming from, have some tactical empathy, they react from emotion, like, hey, I'm being attacked right now. You know what I'm saying? So if you're a confident leader, if someone challenges something that you say, or challenges a decision that you make, like, you're not going to immediately react from emotion, right? Because your decision's good, but hey, maybe my employee here has a good point here. Let me listen to what he has to say. You know what I'm saying? Like, you don't get so offended so easily, right? So there's a difference between confidence versus ego. And true leadership, it doesn't seek validation or force control. So like I said before, um, if I'm not seeking validation when I pick a place to go eat. I'm like, hey, nurse chick, we're going to this place. We're going to the ship's buffet on the tonight on the Jericho cruise, right? But if she's like, we had ship's buffet yesterday, like, let's go to the Brazilian steakhouse, right? That's where I'm not seeking validation by asking her buy-in about the buffet, but I'm also not forcing control because she's like, hey, let's go to the Brazilian steakhouse, and I'm like, actually, that would be a better idea. I don't know. But if you're not so rigid and you're able to take people's valuable input into consideration, you actually earn a little bit more respect that way. People like when they're listened to, especially, like, if you, like, think about it. If have you ever brought a suggestion to your boss and your boss just shoots it down every time? You stop bringing him suggestions, right? But if you bring your boss suggestions and he runs with your suggestions, man, you feel really good about that. That's sort of, you sort of respect that guy for doing that a little bit more, Well, women respond positively to quiet, unwavering confidence rather than arrogance. They also respond to arrogance too a little bit, but still, like, if you're quiet and unwavering and you have it confident in, like, pretty much everything you do, or as most you can do, none of us are perfect. Like, women actually respond to that confidence quite a bit. It makes them feel safe and secure in their relationship. And women are typically security seeking creatures, if that all makes sense. All right. Hopefully you guys, I'm not just rambling on. I do have the Rona and I'm dying over here. CW says, rocking the nerd glasses. Dude, I just this morning I was coughing so bad and sneezing and stuff that my eyes were watering, and I was like, I'm not even messing with the contacts this morning, man. I'm not even doing it. Screw it. You guys can just drink this in. You drink in dog water, Paul, today. This is what a sick man looks like. Sick man that's like podcasts no matter what. Guys, follow me on social media. The links are in the description. I'm on all the good platforms. Get on the email list if you haven't already. Go to list.comeonmanpod.com. Get the ebook, She's Made You Weak. It explains the betaization process and why women tend to lose attraction over time. And a lot of guys have no idea this is even happening. So if you're wondering why your wife no longer respects you, doesn't want to talk to you, certainly isn't putting out, this is a big reason why. Check that out. Go to list.comeonmanpod.com. And then if you really want to take that information and try to turn things around yourself, get the book that we're talking about today, Get Her to F You Again. You can find that and all my books at books.comeonmanpod.com. They're available in all formats, including Audible, if you prefer audiobooks. Let me play a commercial for that, and then we'll get back to the topic today.
Are you tired of the dead bedroom? Wondering what happened to the passion, the connection, and the spark? Well, here's your answer. Introducing Get Her to Fuck You Again, a red pill guide to fix a dead bedroom, now on Amazon. This isn't about manipulation or tricks. It's about real strategies that work. If your wife has stopped being intimate with you, it's not because the love is gone. It's because the attraction is gone. And that's fixable. This book will teach you the skills to lead your marriage, rebuild your confidence, and become the man she can't stop thinking about. 3 reasons to get this book. 1. It breaks the cycle. You'll learn how to stop doing the same things that are killing her attraction and start doing the things that reignite it. 2. It's practical and proven. With clear, actionable steps, you'll build yourself into the man you were always meant to be. 3. It works for men like you. Paul Bauer has helped hundreds of men just like you fix their dead bedrooms. And now, it's your turn. Don't let another day go by feeling frustrated and disconnected. Go to Amazon right now and buy Get Her to Fuck You Again. Read it, apply it, and watch your marriage transform. The connection isn't gone forever. You just need the roadmap to get it back. And this book is it.
All right. So the next concept is setting and enforcing boundaries. This is really important for guys to learn how to do. They need to be able to tell their wife no every once in a while, right? Or if they need something done that's very important to them, they need to be able to assert that, very seriously. A big thing. I have 2 clients like this where their wives let their kids stay in their bedroom, right? So their kids are sleeping in their bedroom, and the kids have their own bedroom, right? And these aren't toddlers either. These are like, one client, his daughter's 9 years old. She sleeps in the bedroom with them. The other client, I think he's got some like early teens that are sleeping in the same room, right? And it's like, that's the exact thing that you need to learn how to be able to tell your wife, no, this isn't happening, right? They are too old to be staying in our bedroom. And you need to be able to put your foot down. But a lot of women are like, oh, but they're my babies, right? Or they're using the children as a shield to avoid having intimacy with you, right? Which is creepy, in my opinion. Like, can you imagine doing that to somebody? Like, that's your thought process. Well, if I have the kids in the room, at least he's not trying to bang me, right? Like, good Lord, can you imagine being in a relationship like that? I don't know. But as a guy, if you don't have the balls to tell your wife, hey, no, no. And that actually happened early on in my marriage with my daughter. My daughter, when they're infants, like it makes sense. It makes sense to have like, a cradle in the room because the baby gets up 7 times a night and mom could just go get the baby and latch the baby on and go back to sleep, right? Like that's fine. But when kids start getting to be 2, 3, now it's time to transition them to their own room. You know what I mean? And sometimes moms have a hard time with that. Moms really have a hard time with that. And that's why they need you as the masculine leader in the relationship to say, no, honey, the baby's going to be fine.
New episodes every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. Subscribe now.